So the Giants' 4-game win streak ended, and then came down to a couple big plays in this game. A lot of bad turnovers. I think first and foremost, the biggest thing you saw, and here's an example of that, right? You have these Giants wide receivers that are all practice squad guys. And, you know, Marcus Johnson, David Sells, Richie James, like, there was a reason why Richie James got cut from where he was before. And I think that's what pisses me off the most about the whole situation with these experiment practice squad guys at wide receiver is that if Kadarius Toney did what he was supposed to do, if Kenny Golladay did what he was paid to do, our offense looks completely different. Wow, Danny Dimes making a great play there. But it looks completely different because you have guys that are, supposed to be elite in their positions, a lot of upside on both sides, and they never panned out, which is unfortunate. But that's just sports in general, whether it's the NFL, your favorite team, or any other league, right? You gotta show up and you gotta play. You gotta be available to play. Toney was never really available, and it didn't work out, and they traded him. So I just wanted to make it known that. Oh, Jihad almost had that. It really came down to this point of having the practice squad guys playing wide receiver, and this kind of kills them, right? Like, you're throwing, like, how many targets did Marcus Johnson have in this game? Like, and it does look to, like, every single time Danny Dimes is throwing it, there's someone on the receiver's back, but that's just what happens when you have bad wide receivers that can't create space. That's terrible tackling, which you saw a couple times, especially at the end of the game on that last Kenneth Walker touchdown where McKinney just kind of went like that over his head. Big sack there by McFadden. Yeah, so it is disappointing, but I don't know. The trade deadline coming up, is Joe Schoen gonna, package up a couple of picks for a guy like DJ Moore or Jerry Jeudy? The Jerry Jeudy thing always seemed a little bit weird from the start. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen because, I don't know, the Broncos just paid Russell Wilson. It's a good play by Jackson, but he gets torched a little bit later on in that double move by Lockett. But good play there. 4th and 1, just right above Jalen Smith's head. That was like a Russell Wilson type throw. But the thing with Jerry Jeudy is they just paid Russell Wilson, so and they're not having a good season so far. So it probably takes, we know it takes time when you have guys come in and they have to build a little bit of, reps, get comfortable, play in the offense for a little bit. There was a lot of changes there, and you're going to get rid of a guy who's supposed to be a big weapon for you. I don't really see how that's a viable option for the Broncos at this point, unless they commanded a lot in return. And then also my point is too of trading for any of these wide receivers. Mech, you got to cover him. Pretty big guy to miss. That goddamn mascot's so annoying. Probably one of Saquon's better runs on the day. He finished, I think, with 53 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, Slayton came up pretty big in this game. He made a lot of good catches. He seemed to be the only blanket downfield that, and he could make the catches when he's covered. None of these other practice squad guys could do that. And I don't necessarily think it's really Danny Dimes' fault in getting the ball there late or anything. That was a great play by Jackson. And then you set it up for a Saquon run coming up. Yeah, just tough too up front. You get a couple new guys in the lineup with Evan Neal out and Ben Bredesen out too. So you kind of have some moving pieces. But again, I don't think any of the passes were really Danny Dimes' fault in going downfield. It's just these wide receivers aren't capable. Oh, great tackle or great sack. Glad they didn't call a flag there. These wide receivers aren't capable of creating that separation. I don't mean to use a crazy analogy or example, but when you look at Tyreek Hill, he creates so much space. Obviously, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league, but it's just so different. He's never had. Oh my God, that was terrible. And that was I think Will Disley, their tight end, who caused that fumble. It's like, it's not even like it's a linebacker at least hitting you. It's like the guy's their second string tight end, or I don't even know. Dexty got his hand on it. Dexty, get up, big fella. I can't, honestly, watching this game, I can't stand the 12th man. Their fans are just so obnoxious and annoying. The one guy who is dressed up as the 12-foot alien, are you fucking kidding me? This is your fan base? Jesus. Another good run by Saquon. All right, here we have here. I like this. I like that back setup where you have Hudson, and you got a big 3rd and 12. You got Hudson on the right side, Breda on the left side. Saquon had to come out after the run. And yeah, there's another guy on his back, but it's just a little bit of space, and Slayton's able to use his speed to create that. And that was my whole point about Tyreek Hill, or the last time the Giants haven't had a wide receiver be able to make much space, really, since Odell. And he made it look easy. That's the best, when you get Saquon with 5, 6, 7 yards before contact. He's always making someone miss. You got a little bit of space there, but it looks like, I don't know, that looked like a bad throw. Yeah, Wandale, he's got to learn, too, on how to maybe work back outside if you have a safety and a cornerback playing you inside. Just kind of see that. But, yeah, I gave the prop bets on the Saquon and Kenneth Walker the third over rushing yards, and, yeah, neither of those happened. So, hey, you win some, you lose some. Geno's throwing great balls here. That should have been a touchdown. Tyler Lockett usually catches those. Been in the league long enough. But, hey, man, kudos to Geno. He plays well, man. It's crazy. I mean, I know, I saw something, a comment about, someone was talking about how Danny Dimes can't look at how Geno's throwing. I'm like, Geno's been in the league for fucking 10 years. He's had a lot of time to throw a lot of passes to get to this point because he hasn't really done this all too often in his career. So if you're saying, if it's a knock on Danny Dimes because this is how Geno looks, then just shut the fuck up because it makes no sense.
Kick right down the middle, and Seattle leads it 13-10. Jones with a clean pocket, and it's walled away by Darius Slayton.
Yeah, I mean, there's just it looks like it's just the routes. They're all 12-yard stops or comebacks. Usually that has the quarterback on top of you. I liked our tight ends, Myrak and Tanner Hudson. I feel like every time Tanner Hudson got the ball, he's looking around, who's going to hit me? I'm going to get hit somewhere. Maybe it was because he got hit earlier in the game and he was kind of, Jesus Christ. All right, let's break this one down. Shit show from the beginning. What the fuck is number 83 doing? So this is all on number 83, right? Because everyone else is pulling. And this guy has got to get around in front of this guy. Because then you got guys pulling behind him. So look, you just... I don't even know who that is because you probably didn't see him too much. But, that's a 1st and 10 when you're kind of going into the red zone. It's just, hey, make it 13-13 with 11 minutes left in the fourth. And I think this is where the game starts getting a little crazy. Yeah, complete opposite of when the Giants run this route versus when the Seahawks run it. Look, No pressure too. Wink really like I would like to see the stats on how much they blitzed. It didn't seem like it was much. But look, you know, DK Metcalf has gone 5 yards and there's no one even close to around him. When the Giants run their route, there's someone on their back every time. Is it because they don't want to get torched by DK Metcalf? Maybe he's elite. He's an elite wide receiver, so he commands that respect. But that was also, this is exactly what the Jaguars did the week before. To whatever that guy's name was, Zay Jones or whatever. No pressure at all. We're rushing 4. That's what also happened in this game that looks so different. We're rushing 4 and consistently getting no pressure. I was hoping Thibodeau would have a better showing against Charles Cross because I remember in my preview video for the draft, the Giants really liked Charles Cross and he looked pretty decent in this game, but this was just an absolute thrashing of Tyler Lockett on Adoree Jackson's here, maybe making up for that fumble earlier in the game. But, boom. Shout. Right up. I think watching this game, too, right after Jackson, I think, went over to McKinney and was like, dude, I need some help over the top. But it didn't come, so we'll take a false start there. Jesus. Yeah, that was tough. The big 3rd and 9, you didn't get there. Yeah, I remember watching this one with Sanchez was trying to channel his Tony Romo with a little diagram on the bottom, and none of that was even close. But hey, the Giants at this point aren't fully out of this game. It's 7 points, and then now they are. Catastrophic turnover by your punt returner for the 2nd time in the game, and it kills the game. It's the NFL. It doesn't even matter if you're playing Geno Smith having a resurgence here or anyone else who you're going to see in the next couple of weeks, like Jared Goff or David Mills. It's 3 points at a minimum, and then this is kind of a pathetic effort by McKinney coming up here, and then that's the game. Game's over there at that point. See if they show the friggin' alien in the crowd. Kenneth Walker, this guy could easily win Rookie of the Year since the Jets' Breece Hall went out with the ACL injury. He looks pretty good. He just seems like a smart running back too. But again, your cause is helped when you get shitty arm tackling in the secondary. It makes your life much easier getting to the end zone. So yeah, the Giants have a lot on tape that they have to get better at. And I think you're good at. A part of me, there's Tanner Hudson, where he's like, "Where the hell? Who's on me?" I don't know if they should trade for a wide receiver. I mean, I think they desperately need one, right? And I think any of you guys could see that too, right? But is it worth giving up someone, especially for a disgruntled guy who's currently on their team that they're going to have to trade? And then when you trade that person who's in year 2 or 3, that you have to, or on the final year of their rookie contract, they're not going to come here without that expectation of that they're going to be re-signed for a long-term contract. So do we want to take another risk on bringing someone else in here to a already pretty fucked up wide receiver room and just say, hey, we trust you, Jerry Jeudy, that you're going to come from the shit show of the Broncos and come in here when we're 6-2 and do everything we need you to do, and that you won't cry like even these Jets wide receivers when they don't touch the ball, and they have a winning record too. So it's I don't know. Some of these guys you got to walk a fine line with. That wasn't even open at all. And then they had this weird play coming up where Pete Carroll was ran on the field and they ran into the ref on the field or something, which was very interesting because you never see that in the NFL, especially. Maybe sometimes in college or high school it happens, but NFL, you never see a ref get hit by a head coach running down the sideline. So here you go. Game's pretty much over. We did need 17 yards from Daniel Jones for the over rushing, which didn't come. And, of course, Tanner Hudson, no wonder he's running around scared because he just gets put on the Seahawks highlight tape right there. I wish we had the background, the all-22 for that one. Oh, I think they showed this one. It was just a loop stunt where the DN came all the way around. But, yeah, at this point, pretty much the game's over. Danny Dimes taking some sacks. So I think, this was a loss that had Gino revenge game all over it. Oh, my God. Show the alien. But, I think there's things to be learned from this game. I think there are changes that need to be made to be successful. And I think, going into this year originally, I had the expectations, new coach, new GM, Danny Dimes hasn't played all that well, and Saquon is a big question mark. I was under the full assumption that this was going to be a total rebuilding year. But in the NFL, when you win games, that narrative and that notion changes. So having said that, I think after this bye week, we have to come back ready to go. And what Coach said over here on the side. But yeah, come back ready to go and make those small tweaks because there's some coming back. You have some pretty winnable games. Let's just look quickly. Giants schedule. So here we go. Here you come back off a bye and you have the Texans who look really bad. The Lions who play hard, they put up points. That game is going to be bet the over and it's just going to come, it's going to be a shootout. Cowboys, Zeke was out, but I'm sure I'll be back by the time this game is. So we'll put that as a question mark. You have to beat the Commanders. Eagles, tough game. Have to beat the Commanders again. Vikings are 6-1 or 7-1 right now, or maybe they went to 6-1. They had a bye before. I don't know, but they have a really good record, and I think they're first in their division. Colts, I can't even. They look so bad. I don't even know. I never even want to watch them play football. Then you end with the Eagles. So what I'm seeing here is a lot of winnable games. The point that I want to make here is that, we're 6-2 right now. I don't want to get to a point where, we're 2 games over 500 or 3, or one game over 500 because that means